What's up, YouTube? You know what time it is. It's MightyFan time, and I've been making these videos on YouTube since 2009, so I'm a bit of an old head at this at this point in time. But in all these years of doing the videos for the pickups, jersey pickups, and speaking of which, the March 2016 pickup vid will be coming up. At some point before week's end, so be on the lookout for that. Lots of stuff to share, so that one will be out a little later in the week, if not tomorrow or something like that. But anyhow, I've been making these videos either jersey related or season of the fan for the Eagles or whatnot, and it's in this area of the Philly region. Championships certainly don't come around that often. I mean, the last time we won was '08 with the Phillies. Thank goodness for that. Come close a couple times since I've been on YouTube. '09 with the Phillies losing to the Yankees, and then 2010 the Flyers lost to the Blackhawks in Game 6 here in Philly. Tough goal there, giving up in overtime to Patrick Kane, who should have been a Flyer. Who does the coin flip anyhow to pick who gets the #1 pick? That's just stupid. But anyhow, the coin flip went Chicago's way. They get Patrick Kane, and the rest, of course, is history. But tonight, for the first time since making these videos on YouTube, one of our local teams here, albeit now a collegiate team, but certainly a team has a chance. They're basically on the eve of possibly winning a championship, and that, of course, is the Villanova Wildcats. They play North Carolina, the Tar Heels, tonight, in the men's national championship game in Division I basketball. Really exciting. It's been a great run. Now, I went to college, as some of you may know. I went to Cabrini College, and there's my diploma up on the wall there behind me. But that's where I went to college. Now, Cabrini is not a Division I college as far as athletics go. They have a very good athletic program, though. In fact, they usually do really well in athletics. You go to the gym there, you see all the banners. They're a pretty good program there, but they do not play Division I. They don't play NCAA Division I sports. So they unfortunately the Cavs couldn't the Cavaliers couldn't play for a national championship as far as when you see the March Madness tournament and everything. So, but Villanova is just down the road. Villanova is about 5 to 7 miles from here. In fact, I used to pass the campus whenever I went to Cabrini. I would pass by Villanova on Lancaster Avenue. I was actually accepted at Villanova. I was accepted at Temple. I was accepted at Westchester and Cabrini, and I chose Cabrini basically because of the smaller, campus atmosphere, and that's something that I really, smaller classrooms, less students per classroom. It's just something I thought would be better for me. So I went with Cabrini, and I was happy to do so. Really good years there, great college, and lot of really good professors there, and had a lot of good years there. And but that being said, whenever one of our other universities that makes it into the tournament goes on a run, now I'm always behind them. Whether it's Villanova, whether it's Temple, whether it's LaSalle. Some years ago it was LaSalle. Whether it's St. Joe's, of course, where my mom went. When they made their run in '04, losing in the Elite Eight to Oklahoma State, but of course that was a great team. They had an undefeated regular season. Whoever, Penn, Drexel, whoever is making a run, I usually get behind. And Villanova, over the years, they've had a really good program. Of course, Jay Wright, since he's been there, they've really turned things around. And they've been, one of the national powers. I mean, they've routinely been in the tournament. They were a #1 seed a number of times. They went to a Final Four, I believe it was '09. They lost to North Carolina. We owe North Carolina. They were in the Elite Eight some years before that, again, losing to North Carolina. So they've had a lot of success. Now, recent years, of course, they fell short. They lost in the first weekend, even as a #1 seed, I believe, last year, losing to, I think it was NC State or something like that. in the second game. So they've fallen short in recent years. So this year going into the tournament, we didn't really know what to expect, particularly how they lost their conference title against Seton Hall, which was pretty much how they kind of lost in recent years in the tournament. So it was very familiar to how seasons ended in years past. But of course, this year, they got through the first weekend in dominant fashion, and then they go, they get to the Elite Eight, they win a close game against Kansas, go to the Final Four, and then at the Final Four, they absolutely destroy Oklahoma. They made the Sooners the Laters in that game. And here they are playing against North Carolina for a chance to win a championship. And for the first time since I've been filming these videos here on YouTube, I can say that a local team, whether it's pro or college or what have you, has a chance to win a championship. So it's really exciting. Now, obviously, there's been a lot of split opinions on this in the weeks leading up, because there's a lot of Temple grads, a lot of St. Joe's grads, LaSalle, whatever, and obviously, for those of you who know or might not know, this area, the Philadelphia area, is a great region for college basketball. It's always been. We have what's called the City Six here and beyond. There are, it's really called the Big Five, but we like to call it the City Six because it's Villanova, it's Temple, it's St. Joe's, LaSalle, Drexel, and Penn. And so there's a lot of really good rivalries there, with Temple and Villanova and LaSalle and St. Joe's, Villanova. It's just honest. It would almost, tonight would almost be like Duke fans rooting for North Carolina in some ways, for Temple alum or St. Joe's alum to try to root for Villanova. But at the same time, there's a great group of people, a great margin of people in the city that just want to see a local team do well. Because winning championships around here in these parts doesn't happen that often. I mean, the last time a Philadelphia team won, was the Phillies, of course, in '08. Before that, it was, if you want to go professionally, it was the 1982-83 Sixers. If you want to throw in a collegiate title in there, it was the '85, Villanova Wildcats. So really, it kind of, there's lulls in between the championships. So whenever a local team has a chance to win, whether it's pro, whether it's collegiate, for the most part, people here are going to get behind it. And, Villanova, the campus is about 5 to 7 miles away from where I live. I live in Ardmore. Villanova is just up the street. It's on Lancaster Avenue. It's not very far away. I've known people who have went to Villanova. I think it's a great campus. I've been there, few times, and I've always had, good things to say about it. I think it's a great university, with a proud history there for sports. Obviously, you look at, football-wise, Howie Long, Brian Westbrook, Brian Finneran, guys have played well in the pros. They've come from Villanova, and obviously all the talent they put out in basketball. In particular, more recently, you talk about like Randy Foy, Kyle Lowry, who's a two-time All-Star starting point guard in the Eastern Conference, one of the great young players in the league from the Raptors. Villanova, and there's a lot of great players that have come out of the university, and of course a lot of great players that have come out of all the universities in the Philadelphia area. This is a basketball hotbed. You see a lot of great players who either come out of the schools in Philly or maybe go to other schools and come out, like a Rasheed Wallace, over the years, and have just done great things. Kobe obviously came from here, played at Lower Merion, where I went for a year with him. So yeah, it is a basketball hotbed, and I think people tend to forget that because of how bad the Sixers are, with how much basketball matters here. But it does. It was a sport it was one of my first loves. I played it through high school, and pick up games where I can after that. This is the first time because I was a little too young for 1985. So this is the first time that I've seen a local team play for a championship, play for a national title. So I'm really excited about that, and of course Villanova being just down the street. I've always liked Villanova. I always cheered for them. Of course, all the local teams. But, being that I'm so close to Villanova in proximity, it makes it even more. And, I've always had, I've always had memories of, what they've done in tournaments years past, whether it's good or bad. And I'm hoping to take it home tonight against North Carolina. It'll be a tough game. I don't think it will be anywhere as easy as it was against Oklahoma, but certainly they have played tremendous. They play a Philly-style basketball, tough defense. They play with a lot of grit. They play with a lot of heart, and they have been really dominant in the tournament. Really, really playing well, and I'm really excited for tonight. Talk about the '85 team. This was actually this glass here, like pink lemonade in it, but this glass, this isn't from '85, but it has the logo that they used to have, and that's the logo that they had at that time. And of course, now you see what they have today. So the logo may have changed, but the history is still there, and it's it's really exciting around here. Certainly, they've given us a great ride, and hopefully it can continue tonight. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, this is my first opportunity here on YouTube to kind of on an eve where a local team here could win a championship, and who knows if it happens or not. Obviously, North Carolina is a great program. They have a lot of great athletes on that team too, so it's going to be tough. But if Villanova plays the way they played defensively in the tournament so far, I mean, who's to say they can't? I mean, they've proven a lot of people wrong already. So what's one more challenge, right? So yeah, congrats to Villanova for getting here. Thank you for having this great run, because as we all know, it's been tough around here in recent years. There's been a lot of tanking and a lot of rebuilding and new coaching staffs and new players, and just it's been a mess in recent years. And it's really nice to have a team, a local team that is on the cusp of possibly winning a championship. It's really exciting, and like I said, it's been a great ride so far. So one more V to put up tonight. Hopefully, the Victory V, Villanova V. Hopefully, they can raise that tonight along with the championship trophy, and get the second ever championship in school's history for men's basketball, which would be really cool. First for me to see. So, with all due respect to the '85 team, that was when I was still a little too young to really remember. But as I've come to learn, being a fan of these teams around here, there's a lot more letdown than there's glory. So, any type of glory we can get, is a good one, as far as I'm concerned. So it's actually funny. This hat that I'm wearing, this was actually given to me. A gentleman used to work at the company I worked for, and his son coached the Villanova baseball team, men's baseball team, and this apparently was one of their hats. So he was giving this hat, he was giving out hats, and that's where this hat came. I wore this hat when they won in the Elite Eight, and I wore it again when they won the Final Four game to get to the championship. So I'm hoping this is like a good luck hat to wear for tonight. And there's one more thing here to share with you. This baseball was an actual baseball from the Villanova team at that time. It has the Big East baseball there, and NCAA on the front, and it's a Rawlings ball, but that's an actual baseball used by the Villanova team back in the day. This is maybe going back about 7-8 years, but this at the time the ball was given with the hat. So two nice little mementos there from the university athletics anyhow. So I actually have a light blue hat too that was given to me by the guy, and apparently that was one of their hats for their games too. So, but this was the first one that I got, so I always kind of wear this for the majority of the games that I watch, and I call it at least this tournament, it's been the good luck hat. So I'm hoping it gives a little more. One more time to give some luck tonight. So, but I just thought I'd make this video. I do the Season of the Fan series for the Eagles, and if I were to have to be held down and say, okay, you have one team, what would matter to you the most of all the major and collegiate teams in Philadelphia to win? Which one would it be? And I would say the Eagles, because the Eagles is what got me started being a Philadelphia fan. That's the first Philadelphia team that I really remember following throughout a season, and then of course it would, the Sixers and the Phillies and the Flyers, and then the collegiate teams, would come. But definitely I would have to say the Eagles. I mean, for them to win a Super Bowl would be the ultimate for me. I don't even know what I would do. And I love the Phillies from '08. I thank you guys so much for that. That was, I mean, what else can you say? To win a championship, see a first parade I've ever seen, was just tremendous. I still have the confetti in the little bag from that, and the memories of that October 31st, 2008 will always be remembered. But any championship we can get here is a good one because it doesn't happen that often. And I recall the written phrase by the late great Fred Shiro, who was the coach of the Flyers, Hall of Fame coach back in the '70s, when he wrote the day, I should say, before the Flyers would play the game where they would win their first Stanley Cup, and that was in 1974 when they beat the Bruins. And he wrote on there, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with it, and if you're not, but he wrote, "Win today, and we walk together forever as champions." And for the first time in YouTube, when making the videos, I have a chance, to kind of repeat that phrase, and hope that it comes to fruition like it did for the Flyers back in '74. For Villanova now, it's if you guys win tonight. Well, I can't say today because it's tonight. Win tonight, and you walk together forever as champions. And it's an amazing thing when you're able to do that, able to win a championship, and no one can ever tell these kids, because I see them as kids, they're collegiate. No one can ever tell them that they're not number one, because they proved it and they won it, and they can always, from this day forward, this night forward, can always be champions and always go forward as being champions. Years from now, maybe they have reunions, and they can come back and to the court and just be remembered for the great run they gave us in 2016 NCAA Men's Division I March Madness tournament, NCAA tournament, to close that out and win and have the confetti fall down on them and be up there holding the trophy and giving the V's up there and cutting down those nets as champions. It would be a really special thing, and I hope that they're able to do it. I'm proud of how far they've come so far in the tournament, and really kind of erasing the demons of previous years losing in the first weekend of the tournaments. I think they've come a long way. They have players on those teams that were there losing in the heartbreaks in the first weekends, and to see how they grew as a team and came together, to get to this game, I think says a lot about the character on that team. I think it says a lot about their coach, Jay Wright, who's really turned like I said, turned the program around from when he first got here. I'm proud for him too. He's the coach of the year, well deserved. They were number one in the country at one point, and they came together, and they certainly put together one heck of a run so far. And we're hoping that concludes tonight with a championship. But you know what? Even if it doesn't, we're always going to remember this, and hopefully they are able to get it. But win tonight, and they can walk together forever as champions, and it will never be forgotten, certainly. So let's go Villanova. Let's get the win tonight. Let's get that championship. I'll certainly be happy to do so, to see them do so. And like I said, I'm excited. It's the first time I've ever seen a local team in the championship game for men's college basketball, and I'm really excited for it. I really hope they win. I mean, we owe North Carolina from some years of disappointment with them. I know Villanova in '85 beat North. I think it's funny. The last time Villanova won a championship, they beat North Carolina en route to do so. They beat them in the Final Four that year, and then, of course, they beat Georgetown. Sorry, Throwback King, but they beat Georgetown in the championship game, one of the great upsets ever in college basketball in '85. And now here they are again, and North Carolina is a team in their way. So I think it does kind of come full circle. Hopefully they can beat the Tar Heels again and capture that championship. Although before in '85 it was in the Final Four, it was the game to get to the championship. But So again, we're really excited here. I know there's a lot of Temple and St. Joe's and whatever alum that can't really root for it too much, but it would almost be like, I don't know if I said this yet or not. It would almost be like Duke fans rooting for North Carolina tonight, I guess, in some ways. But me, I went to Cabrini, so I I can't say I have a real hatred for for Villanova or any of the other schools in the area, universities. So I always root for the whoever's whatever runs they're making. I'm always rooting for them. I was rooting for Temple and St. Joe's in the tournament too. They both lost in heartbreak fashion, but let's hope the Cats can pull it out tonight. Other than that, Allen Iverson, Hall of Famer. First ballot Hall of Famer, going to be inducted to the Hall of Fame this summer. I think it's summer, maybe in the fall. I kind of forget exactly when it will be, but I hope to go to it. I hope to be there for his enshrinement and he's going in with a great class too. Like Shaq's going in, Yao Ming. I mean, there's quite a few. Tom Izzo, quite a few greats going in. Both from what they've done here and also, I mean, Yao's case, what he did overseas too. But certainly AI. The thing is, I was too young for Dr. J, and I wasn't around for Wilt Chamberlain. I was too young for Charles Barkley. I kind of was there at the end of his run here with the Sixers before he got traded to the Suns. I started watching it. Allen Iverson was the first Sixer superstar that I can say that I saw from day one when he was a rookie up through his career here, and I couldn't be prouder of him to make it to the Hall of Fame. Because Allen Iverson really represented, a lot of us. I mean, he's my size, and for him to do what he did on the court, against guys much bigger, I think it says a lot about his heart, a lot about his drive and determination, and he played with the type of grit and determination and heart that we love here in Philly. In a way, Allen Iverson was the perfect athlete for Philadelphia. We really appreciated him because of how hard he played. We rooted our hearts out for him in that Sixers team back in the day because of how hard he played. He brought that grit to it. They played tough defense, of course, the run in 01. I mean, that was a real Philadelphia team. That was a real if the Philadelphia team gets to it, that's how it's going to be. There's going to be 2 Game 7s. There's going to be all this angst and drama. It's not going to be easy. We're not going to sweep our way in. That was a Philadelphia team. And Allen Iverson was a Philadelphia-type athlete. And he brought it every day, whether it was a regular season game, postseason, finals. I still get a chuckle. I see Tyronn Lue as a coach on Cleveland. I still see Allen Iverson stepping over him in the finals. AI was a great player. And, I defended him so many times during those times when people wanted to trade him and whatnot. I still remember that summer in 2000, I was playing a pickup game. I was defending him. This one guy wanted them to trade him for Eddie Jones, and I just... Nothing against Eddie Jones. He's a Philadelphia guy. But I said, you trade Allen Iverson away, you're getting rid of the Sixers. Because he is the Sixers. And then, of course, that next season he would go on to have his MVP year and get to the finals. And if it wasn't for Matt Geiger's no trade clause, they would have traded him to the Clippers, it seemed. But thank God for Matt Geiger's. The only good thing Matt Geiger did here as a Sixer was make sure Allen Iverson didn't get traded in the summer of 2000. Because it came close. It came really close. But thank God that didn't happen, because then we wouldn't have had the fun in 01 that we had. Man, that must have been the last fun time it was being a Sixers fan, was when Iverson was here. So it hasn't been a whole lot of fun lately, all this tanking crap that they're doing. I really hope they get it right in the draft this year. I really do. And I hope Embiid gets healthy and plays, and Sarge comes over from overseas, and just they can start turning this thing around. I mean, now I'm hearing they want to trade Okafor. I'm like, well, what are you doing? You're drafting guys just so you can trade them the next year? What is this? But congratulations, AI. Thanks for all those great years here. I really appreciated everything you did, as a Sixer, and you'll always be a Sixer. I don't care if you played for Denver or, Detroit, or very briefly with Memphis. He's always going to be a Sixer, and that's how it's always going to be. Retired a Sixer. His number's retired with the Sixers, and he'll always be a Sixer. So no, congrats to AI. I mean, other things. I mean, the Flyers have been playing better. There's been a lot of doom and gloom of late, but the one thing I will say is that the Flyers have really played well. They can't seem to beat Pittsburgh for whatever reason now, but they have played well overall. If the playoffs were to start today, they would play the Capitals as the 8th seed, but they have really played well. And one of the reasons is that they have this young crop of players like a Shane Gostisbehere that have come up and played well. They have the right coach in place, it seems, in Dave Haxtell, who's made the most of the players that are on the team now, and he'll do really good for the players coming up. And I can't profess that I'm like Mr. Hockey, that I really completely know everything about hockey and the NHL and everything, but I know what my eyes tell me. And I have seen how the Blackhawks and how the Kings and how some of these, the Penguins, the Red Wings, the teams that are good, have won multiple championships, have been good like every year just about. I see how they do this, and they do this by having young talent, not trading them, right? Bringing them up, letting them come up and hone in on their talents on the big club, and look at what it's done for them, right? So the Flyers right now have a pretty good crop of young players already up on the team. And if you thought, the Ghost, Shane Gostisbehere is good, you wait to see some of the players they got coming up. Because they have some talent coming up. And Ron Hextall, who learned from the Kings, what you have to do to win, as in the front office comes, here's the GM. Right decision by bringing in Dave Haxtell. People questioned it at the time. College coach, North Dakota. What are you doing? Well, Hextall knew what he was doing, it seems, because Haxtall, not to be confused with Hextall, has done a really good job in his first year as a head coach. It seems like the players have really bought into his system. It took a little while. Of course, first time head coach. It's going to take a little while. New team, everything. Come up. The moves that they've made have been good. He seems to have his finger on the pulse of this team. And they've also bringing up these young talent that they have in the minor leagues. They're bringing them up slow, and people have been questioning that at times. But you build your talent down there, you come up, and it's almost like you've been in the NHL for a number of years, like how Gostisbehere is playing right now, right? They brought him up slow, right? So now they're doing it with these other young crop of talent. And I got to tell you, the next few years are going to be really fun around here, being a Flyers fan, because I really think that that the talent that they have coming up to go with what they have now is going to do some great things in the future. And I'm really excited for the future. Next year is their 50th anniversary. It's going to be a great season. They're going to have an alternate jersey as their 50th anniversary jersey. They're playing in the Stadium Series in Pittsburgh. That's another jersey to get. So fun times are to come for the Flyers. I know there have been some bad years, some down years, but it's going to get good. It's going to get much better going forward in this regime. And I'm really looking forward to it. I really am. I love going to Flyers games, of course, with my buddy Mark M. So I'm going to definitely be looking forward to seeing this young group of Flyers come up through the system and come to the pros. Phillies started today, opening day, and as they've done in recent years, now they had a lead and it didn't last. Shout out to Cincy fans. I know those Reds beat the Phillies today 6-2. The Phillies were up 2-1 going to the 8th, and then the wheels fell off. They remembered they were the Phillies. But in all fairness to them, they have some good young players, and I do think that good times will come in the next coming seasons. I really look forward to seeing the maturation of Michael Franco and Aaron Nola. J.P. Crawford is going to be coming up through the system. He looks like he can be a real good player. There's some other players coming up that could really help this team down the road through the system. And we remember the last time they had a good young crop of players come up. We all know what happened then. Right, Mets fans? You remember. You'd like to hate on Chase Utley, but I'll tell you, if he was a Met and he won a championship for you guys, you wouldn't be hating on him. Well, last time the Phillies, of course, had a good young crop of players come up, they won a championship, and they had a great, great run. One of the great all-time runs of any Phillies team in the history of the franchise. 2 straight World Series appearances, 5 straight division titles. Probably should have won another World Series in there, but we'll take the one. We'll take the one. And great times at Citizens Bank Park back then. Hopefully we're not too far away from more great times. Hopefully in another couple seasons when the young crop can mature and grow, add some pieces along the way, maybe those good years can come back. But it's going to be a rebuilding year this year. I look forward to seeing what the young kids do. And, you know, let's go get it in a few years. Let's build this thing. So, yeah, good times are coming. You know, I know there's been a lot of doom and gloom around here, but good times are certainly coming. They're just around the corner, I think, for the Flyers. Some seasons away for the Phillies, but they'll get back. And the Sixers, damn it, stop tanking. Enough. Just do what you have to do. Just stop tanking. So anyhow, go Villanova tonight. V for victory. And let's get that championship. Remember, Cats, win tonight. You walk together forever as champions. Let's go, Nova. I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay.